Good evening and welcome to the Newman City Council regular meeting, December 12th, 2023. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation. Right, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. As we come together to take care of the business of the city of Newman, I just want to reach out and thank each and every one of you for attending. But I want to just lift up, not saying your names, but just lift up each and every one of you and your families, that God will keep the covenant over you and bless you. We're living in a city that has been blessed, mightily blessed, for the people that serve here. Each and every one of our city councilmen, the people that hold positions. And I just want to say, we're blessed, truly blessed. Father God, thank you so much for this evening that you have blessed us to come together to take care of this business of the city of Newman. This seems to be the last date that we'll come together unless there's emergency, that we'll be meeting until next year. And I just want to say that you will continue to bless us, guide us, and protect us. Give us the wisdom this evening, Father God, to take care of the business for the city of Newman. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilman. Roll call.
Councilmember McDonald,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ball,
Here.
Councilmember Tomlinson,
Here.
Councilmember Pimentel,
Here.
Mayor Graham.
Here. Any declarations of conflicts of interest tonight?
None.
Ceremonial matters, none. Items from the public, non-agenda items. Anybody from the public wishing to speak tonight? Welcome, Gavin.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, city staff, community. Thank you, Gavin Klein, Congressman Duarte's office. Just want to give you all a quick update on some bills from the congressman as well as the newest caucus that he's joined. Congressman Duarte proudly introduced the Professional Growth and Retention Act. By investing in skills and development of our existing workers, we are not only enhancing the competitiveness of our business, but also ensuring sustained growth in our local communities. Currently, the local workforce board are limited to only using 20% of their adult and dislocated worker allocation funds for incumbent worker training. This important piece of legislation doubles the allocation for incumbent worker training from 20 to 40%. It's a forward-looking approach to workforce development, especially in rural communities. By allowing local employers to retain and train local workforce, we can create a more prosperous and opportunity in places that need it the most. Another bill that the congressman has co-sponsored is the Explore Act. It's a comprehensive bill that not only promotes outdoor recreation for service members and veterans, but it also increases accessibility to the activities for all. Additionally, outdoor recreation has about $1.1 trillion economic output and about 5 million jobs annually. This means the Explore Act is not just about fostering enjoyable outdoor experiences, but it's an investment for our communities, small businesses, and the well-being of Americans. And then the caucus that Congressman Duarte has joined, earlier in the year, we had the Madera Hospital closure, which sent shockwaves up and down the valley. This occurrence shines light on the larger problem of healthcare delivery in rural communities. This is why Congressman Duarte has joined the bipartisan Congressional Rural Health Caucus. The newly formed caucus will promote and advance legislation and policy that increases high-quality, affordable healthcare and medical and mental health services for all Americans. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Not seeing anybody else, we'll move on. Item number 8, consent calendar. A, waive all readings of ordinance and resolution except by title. B, approval of warrants. C, approval of minutes of the November 14th, 2023 meeting. D, approve the Community Facilities District 2023-1 SB 165 Local Agency Special Tax and Bond Accountability Act Annual Report for 2023.
I move that we consent to the consent calendar, that we accept the consent calendar for this period of time.
We have a first.
Second.
We have a first and second. Go ahead and vote electronically. Motion carries 5-0. Number 9, public hearing. Serves none tonight. 10, regular business. A, adopt resolution 2023, next number, a resolution receiving and accepting the general purpose financial statement and Transportation Development Act's audit for the fiscal year ending in June 30th, 2023. Lou, welcome.
Thank you. Evening, Mayor, members of the council. We got the audit done. It was conducted by O'Connor Company, which is, we've been contracted with them for a few years. And Michael O'Connor from that firm is here tonight to present their findings.
Welcome.
Thank you, my pleasure. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Council and Management of the City of Newman. I'm here to present the financial statements for the year end June 30, 23. And I'd like you to turn to page 1. 1 and 2.
Page what? Page
What, which page?
1 and 2.
Okay.
Okay, this is our opinion on the financial statement. And it's an unmodified opinion that's you can receive, so there was no modifications, everything was done according to all the rules, all the regulations. And I just want to point that out, it will be on our letterhead, and we do work with the city council, our contact information will be there, if you ever have any questions to me or anyone at the firm anyway, we can help you or answer your questions, please feel free to contact me at any time. Also, even during the presentation, feel free to interrupt me and ask questions. Next, I'd like to page 15 and 16. Is the statement of net position on a full accrual basis, and it's your assets less your liabilities equals your net position. The bottom line there, total net position for your governmental activity.
There you
Got the speaker turned on.
What's that?
No, he turned the speaker on. It wasn't on properly.
Oh, okay, there we go. That's it. Okay, so the total net position in governmental activities, you got 29 million. And in your business type, which is water and sewer, you have over 25 million in net assets. Basically, the total net position of the city is $55 million, practically. Next, I'll turn to the next page, 16. Again, these two statements are on the full accrual basis, like you're a for-profit company. So at the first column there, expenses, it starts out with the cost of services. Governments are in the business of providing services, so those are your costs. Then it goes to the right. You have some revenue sources coming in, charges for services. And then you have operating grants and any capital grants. It doesn't look like you have any capital grants this year. So then it comes over to, what expenditures are left over, and then they're covered by, if you go down to the bottom there, general revenues, which is mainly taxes. So that's whatever costs that these grants and charges for services don't cover, then that's covered by taxes. So the third line from the bottom, change in net position, overall it's $3.94 million revenue received in excess of your costs. So that's all I want to point out on that page. The next page, 17. These are your governmental funds. And these are on what's called a modified accrual basis, almost a cash basis. A lot of people want to know, well, how much money do we have in a certain pot? So think of these as pots of money. The first column is your general fund, and then CDBG. You have different funds going across. But your general fund has, fund balance of almost $4 million, $3.9 million there in fund balance, and then it just goes across. The state grant funds has $1 million in deficit due to the timing of receipts from the state. So I'm talking with Lou, that's, it's expected that that deficit will be will be gone once the money comes in. But all the way to the right, you have the total fund balance is $19,400,000. And the next page, actually, not the next page, but the page after, page 19. This is similar to the statement of activities, but on the modified accrual basis. It shows all your revenues and expenditures for the year for your governmental funds. And all the way over to the right, third line from the bottom, you have net change in fund balance. You have $1,043,000 positive. You can go across to all the funds. The general fund had a loss, mostly due to interest rates went up and your bond portfolio investments dropped, but these are unrealized gains. So you didn't sell anything and take any loss. It's just the value dropped because interest rates went up. So that had a lot, that was most of the loss in the general fund, but that's what I wanted to point out on this page. And behind this is all the notes to the financial statements, which give a lot more information about the city, their accounting policies, and your assets, your pension plan, the debt that you have outstanding. All that detail's in there, but I'm not going to get into that unless you have any specific questions.
Any questions? Shane? No, no. Thank you so much. We appreciate
you.
your hard work. And you do a good job, as usual. Keeping it up. So thank you, guys. So, I'll open up the public for any questions or comments. None being here. We'll bring it back to council for action.
I move to adopt resolution number 2023, a resolution receiving and accepting the general purpose financial statement and Transportation Development Act's audits for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2023.
I'll second it.
We have first and second, go and vote electronically. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Hard work.
Item number 10B, adopt resolution 2023, next number, a resolution adopting the pyrethroid management plan and integrated pest management policy.
Thank you, Mayor.
I don't think I said that right, but
Pyrethroid. Way too familiar with that word. In June of 2017, the Central Valley Regional Water Quality Control Board adopted a resolution to control the use of pyrethroid pesticide discharges into our waterways. Pyrethroids are a class of synthetic insecticides found in household pesticides sold in common retail locations and are approved for use by the California Department of Pesticide Regulation. Pyrethroids remain in the environment significantly longer than naturally derived pyrethrin, which means they are susceptible to being transported by surface runoff into surrounding aquatic environments. And as you all probably know, all of our runoff in the city of Newman ends up in the San Joaquin River. So as part of the rules, and we are regulated under a Phase 2 municipal separate stormwater sewer permit, otherwise known as MS4 permit, which requires us to control what we are discharging into our storm system and the river. We do a lot of outreach. We do a lot of different things to manage what we're discharging out there. One of the requirements is to adopt a pyrethroid management plan and a policy, which it's something for staff and contractors, landscapers to follow to reduce the use of pesticides that have pyrethroids. And so that's what these two documents are. And I can take any questions.
where's the water tested now for results?
So as part of the beginning of this process, we had two choices where we could have gone into a intense sampling process and then discovered what our levels of pyrethroids were in several, and it would be very expensive. The other side of, the other choice was to say, we'll adopt this policy And we coordinated with the San Joaquin Valley Stormwater Partnership, which we're involved in. And we all came up with a draft together, and then we all fit it to our city, and then we adopt, and then that's what the result is. These two policies are results. So if you look at Patterson's, San Joaquin County, Modesto, Tracy, there's about 15 of us in the partnership. So we all work together and came up with these, and that's what we're adopting. So we don't have to test because we are implementing this. And so the Central Valley Regional Board, they test, so they have a whole sampling system going up and down the river. So that's how they'll see levels drop as we all start implementing these plans and policies.
How often do they, excuse me, Mayor, how often do they do those tests?
They have, I would have to look it up because they have an intense process. We went through it with our news program, our news project, because we wanted to ride their wave of testing. So we didn't have to do our own testing as we're discharging out of the news project. And so they're testing frequently, probably at least quarterly. And they did a lot of testing to get the initial results. So they had a baseline to start. So now anything after that shows what progress we're making.
Because people are talking in reference to our water in terms of sometimes you might hear people say that the water smells or that basically they feel that it might be unsafe. So in saying that, I know in the past we talked about a treatment plant.
Okay, so let me talk about it for a second. So we're talking about two different waters. One water is stormwater, which is this, in regards to this. So it's the runoff. So if it rains, people are irrigating it, runs into the gutter, they're washing their car. Any kind of water that goes into the street, into the storm system, that's what this is governing. The water where people say that the water might smell or they think it's unsafe, that's being pumped out of the ground. And so that water, we do intense sampling. We sample for bacteria every week. We sample every year for certain things. We sample for nitrates. We sample every 3 years. We do the full sampling, which is required by the state. And anything that we have that hits a maximum contaminant level or a notification level, we put that in our consumer confidence report, which you can find online or call Public Works and get. And it'll tell you every level of every contaminant that's been detected. And so I am very, very confident that we take very good care of our water system for the public, and that anybody that mentions that, you have them call me, and I will give them a very detailed view of what we do for the water system.
Now, last thing is that I know in the past we talked about a treatment plant. Is that something that basically that we're still looking in terms of maybe somewhere down the road of building a wastewater treatment plant?
So at our last, so the water treatment plant, at our last urban water management plan, we took that out, and we're going to be dependent on groundwater because a water treatment plant back 15 years ago would have cost $20 million. But more importantly, which is probably $40 million now to build the plant itself, and that's just a guess. We'd have to get cost estimates and everything. But the more important issue is that there's not surface water available, because if you have a water treatment plant, you need to treat surface water. That's not to say that maybe one of our wells could have something where we could put a treatment system on it if we needed to, but we're not at that point. Our water is state certified, so to speak. It's completely safe.
Thank you, Ken.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
How is the news project going? I see a lot of stuff moved.
The news project is going great. They're
already asked
digging.
that?
No, but that could be addressed during the,
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you could ask me.
I just want to talk to you.
we're on one topic. You're off topic.
All right, I'm off topic. Sorry, excuse me.
That's okay.
All right,
Bring it up at my part.
we'll go ahead and open up to the public for any questions.
Know about it.
Not seeing any, I'll bring it back to council for action.
I move to adopt resolution number 2023, a resolution adopting the Pyrethroid Management Plan and Integrated Pest Management Policy.
I'll second that.
We have a first and second. Go ahead and vote. electronically.
Dummy I am, huh?
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
I can't, I don't know, I just.
Item number 11, items from the District 5 Stanislaus County Supervisor.
I did that.
Supervisor Condit, welcome.
I guess it-
I was almost ready to give you applause.
Not yet, at least. But good evening, Mayor and Council. Happy to be here tonight. I do have just a couple items to report on. First, we had a very successful cleanup endeavor over at the Swamp Rats trap shooting facility. We filled approximately 12 bins. And I wanted to extend a debt of gratitude to Fire Chief Bowen for himself and our fire department coming out and assisting throughout the day. It was amazing. It definitely saved my back from a lot of aches. Again, Chief Bowen, thank you so much for all your willingness to always come out and help. But it was a fantastic day, and we hope to do this again in 2024 and continue this momentum in trying to decrease illegal dumpings throughout the county.
I appreciate that because there's nothing worse than seeing somebody just dump their stuff alongside the road.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And there's no good excuse, in my opinion, in the world to do that. But at least this initiative that we're doing at least decreases any sort of excuse of, oh, I have to waste gas driving, I have to pay a fee to dump at Fink Road. So we're taking the dump directly to the community. This was our 15th community dump throughout District 5 that we've done. And so we actually hope to do one in Patterson as well in the new year. It'll be our first one in Patterson. But we have so far done it in every community throughout District 5 so far. So again, Chief Bowen, the fire department, thank you so much. I do have a brief report on the hospital endeavor. It is looking like we will be having a great rollout in the new year, possibly in late February, early March. Again, we're entering into an agreement with Sutter Gold Foundation as well as the Del Portal Healthcare District, which will offer elevated services. So it's not just going to be a run-of-the-mill urgent care. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but this is going to offer elevated services for our West Side residents that will operate after hours and then on the weekend, and it will be operated out of the Del Portal Healthcare District footprint. So we're very excited for that. We want to thank the mayor and the council and the city manager and all the city staff for assisting us in those endeavors and these conversations that have gone on for my length of my term. But I do have something unique and exciting for the city of Newman directly that has kind of come out of this. They say positivity breeds positivity. So throughout our conversations and getting to this point, there's actually a urgent care that's operating in Gustine currently. They're actually seeing the progress we're making in Patterson, they're looking at extending into Newman. And the reason being, they see the need of our facility that is going to primarily be offering services for the Medi-Cal population, which is a little over 60%. So they actually see an opportunity to offer a specialty service, possibly an oncologist, to operate out of Newman that would offer services for the other remaining 40%. So again, this just comes from simply talking to people and putting the pieces of the puzzle together. And so we're very excited for that. Those conversations are still in its infancy, but we would love to include the city as well in those conversations moving forward. But again, I think things are just going to keep getting better and better. And again, positivity breeds positivity. So I'm very excited about that and just how that kind of came out of nowhere. And then we've also started entertaining conversations for MJC satellite campus on the west side. Now, again, this is going to be located in Patterson, one being that MJC owns 5 acres already in that city. It's over in the Keystone Business Park. And we had our first collective meeting with Chancellor Young of MJC, as well as 2 MJC trustees, Milt Richards and Antonio Aguilar, and as well as the Stanislaus County Office of Education Superintendent Scott Kuykendall and myself. And So the initial conversation was great, and there's definitely interest there. It's obviously going to come down to money and financing and things like that. But we are planning to have our second follow-up meeting in January, and we would love to extend an invitation to the mayor and to the city manager or a representative if the mayor is not able to be there. To represent Newman, because obviously Newman has a vested interest in this as well. And arguably your students who commute to MJC have to commute further than those in Patterson. So I think you have more vested interest in it. But we want to include you in those conversations. We do plan on getting in front of our congressman's office as well as the state legislator offices to see if there can be a federal state partnership when it comes to funding and things like that. But that is, from the medical facility, that's where we're kind of turning our attention to, is trying to get accessibility to higher education now, and possibly even extending the MJC nursing program, which we all know is phenomenal. And it would kind of fit right into what we're doing with the medical healthcare initiative over here on the west side. So I will certainly keep you abreast as things move forward, and we'd love to have you at the table.
What about bringing them into the Crow's Landing project and putting them out there?
Well, long term, that is where I do see the future permanent hospital. Absolutely.
College right next to it.
Well, there we go. Yeah, no, that'd be great.
UC Davis.
Nurse school?
I think that works great because the county does own that land already. So, I mean, there definitely could be some viability there, and that's something we can continue discussing. But right now, they are interested in that site in Patterson, and we'll just keep the conversation alive and moving forward and see where it goes.
Well, let me put some lighting on this. Is that back in the day, and Mike Harlan might remember this, when we had West Park project, that was on the map in terms of a satellite from the college. Both proposals in terms of Stan State and Modesto. They were looking in terms of putting satellite. And saying that too is that I'm glad to hear that we're moving with the medical facility, because that too was on the plan in terms of the Crow's Landing project, in terms of us building a medical facility out there too. So I'm hoping that, with the conversations that's going on about both the satellite and the health center, is that basically, it's on the burner, and now we can maybe, have this here implemented at some point in time down the road.
I hope so. To your point and to the mayor's point, if MJC isn't interested in the air base, maybe Stanislaus State is. So that's a possibility as well. You never know. So.
Outstanding.
All right. Well, that's all I got tonight. I want to wish you all and your families a very Merry Christmas and a very prosperous 2024.
You too,
Man,
All right.
Thank you,
guys.
Supervisor. Thank you for all your hard work for us.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
thank you, man.
Items from city manager, city staff. Michael?
Thank you,
Welcome
Mayor. Mayor, I just want to echo your sentiment, and we must have the hardest working supervisor in the county. I mean, he's doing great things for us, and these projects that we only thought about 5 years ago are really hitting the ground now that he's been really working on them and getting involved with them. So I really want to thank him for that. The dump, that's a great one here. We just had that in our backyard. We had a little bit of space over there to allow them to do that, and he put it all together. And again, thanks to Keith and his crew out there helping out on that. That's the way it should work, right? Local agencies partnering with our county to bring services to our residents. And that's the way government should work. And so with Supervisor Condit here, it makes it a lot easier. So, and we definitely appreciate him. Thank you again. Just wanted to let you know that we are in escrow for the Foster Farms, and we are scheduled to close this year. So we got about a couple more weeks left to go on that one, but that is in escrow right now. So it's over in Turlock with the title company, so we're moving forward with that.
Was that 30-day?
Excuse me?
What was the escrow on that? 30-day?
It was a 30-day, yeah. So the goal was to have it done in December.
Nice.
So
we won't
even if I have to, whenever I have to go over there to sign papers, we'll get it done. And Lou will have a check for $1 unless they cash, and then I'll show up. Then I'll show up with the.
So we won't be doing
100
chickens or
pennies.
anything, right?
What's that?
We won't be doing chickens, turkeys?
No.
No. No.
I wanted to, we had our financial report tonight, and, you know, we don't get good financial reports like that without all of our department heads and all of our staff really doing a good job in managing our funds, managing their budgets appropriately, and then with Lou and his staff overseeing the entire process and being very transparent with our auditors. And that's why every year we get great remarks. And that's why every year you look at our general fund reserve and it's very strong. And so it's really top to bottom, you know, it's Lou managing it, but it's the department heads, it's the employees, you know, it's everybody. It's a team effort on that. So I just want to thank our entire staff for that because they do a really good job. And just lastly, our last day this year will be Thursday, the 21st. We will be closed on Friday, the 22nd for holiday break, and then we will Christmas break, and we will return to work on January 2nd. So, with that, we do have Public Works on-call people in case there are some issues out there. So with that, I can answer any questions that the council may have.
I missed you the last time we were here,
It's good to be back.
but he did real well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
He's not paying attention. I go, oh, yeah.
I'm writing it down.
right,
I got it.
I watched it online.
Thank you, Michael. Ally?
Oh, could I say something real quickly? I just want to say that you mentioned in terms of the service of Lou and our chiefs and our director of public works. It's because of you.
Yep.
Leadership means a lot in terms of how a city stays stable. And I just want to just lift this up, you know, to let the public know and our councilmen know that we're so blessed to have you in our midst. And I just want to personally thank you for the hard work that you do in terms of making sure that we stay, you know, economically safe and tight.
Well, thank you. Those are very kind words. But honestly, I mean, it all starts with you five. I mean, you guys do a great job. I watch other cities. I watch other boards operate, and you know, you guys are first class, top notch, and you set policy, and then you allow us to do our jobs, and we have professionals over there that do that well. So, you guys set the tone for us, and that helps us do our job. So we appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. I'd like to thank you guys all for a successful tree lighting. From the council to Pro Temp Scott Ball for being out there doing the speech, from our department heads here, our chamber, and everybody who participated. There was a lot of school groups this year that participated in our Christmas tree lighting event, from performances, singing. There was a lot of community members that participated. So thank you to our community. Thank you to our supervisor, Chance Conant, for our cleanup day. That was amazing. Thank you for being here, and the departments that helped. One last thing I wanted to touch on is the vigil for Ronnie Olsing. There was a text message, a digital flyer that was out to all of you guys here. When you get a chance to take a look at it, we will be having a vigil for the 5-year anniversary of Ronnie Ol's passing on December 26th at 5 p.m. in our downtown plaza area. With that, I can answer any questions that y'all may have.
Just a comment. I was going to save this till the end, but my wife and I and our son and daughter-in-law went to the Christmas tree lighting, and we were shocked by how awesome it was. So I just want to acknowledge you, your staff, your volunteers, public safety, you, your staff, your volunteers, your department. It was just, we were blown away. How many people were there, how many vendors, performances. It was, it's something I've never seen in a town before, the way that was put on. So excellent job to everybody. I should just say great job to all staff, but particularly your departments. It was incredible. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That comes when you're a blessed city and number one city on the west side.
On the west side? You mean in the county?
You're right, brother.
Chief Richardson?
Evening, Mayor, council members. It's been a little bit since we last talked, so I have a few things to go over. On November 15th, we had the site team out in Newman. It's a collective group of law enforcement agencies within the county go to each individual cities and they issue citations. They were here between 7 and noon on the 15th. They wrote 73 citations. Also, we were awarded the Office of Traffic Safety Grant for $32,000. It goes through September of 2024, provides training in special distracted driving violations, and also for DUI checkpoints and saturation patrol. So you'll be seeing more of that in the upcoming year. December 10th, our officers hosted Shop with a Cop. Special thanks to DW61 Foundation, which was Dennis Wallace's fallen foundation, donated the money. It was 2 families from Newman. Each got $300, so a child from their family was taken to Walmart and they were allowed to shop for their family or for themselves for the Christmas time. On that note, Officer Murillo this year did a wish tree. He coordinated with Nob Hill, so there's a tree in the police department's lobby and one at Nob Hill where there's names of people that we did through the Family Resource Center. So you can go if you want to adopt a family and purchase gifts for somebody, you can come down to either one of those locations and get a tag. And we would appreciate that very much. With that, I would be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you for doing such a wonderful job while Mike Harlan was off. You did a great job.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And we didn't flood.
Right.
Yeah, you got to ask him about the flood story when the finance director's in charge. I didn't have anything to present tonight, but if you all take time and happen to look through the financials, got questions, stuff doesn't make sense to you, feel free to give me a call. I'll walk you through it. It's not as complex as it looks, but happy to answer any questions you may have.
Looks good. Thank you for all your hard work. I know it's a lot of work. It seems like you're constantly doing audits and
Yeah.
nonstop.
Right.
You got one month break and then budget starts, so.
Catherine?
I'd like to give you an update on the news project.
Why, thank you, Catherine.
So they are in the middle of excavating the ponds. So there's a sediment basin, which will catch the sediment and trash. That's at the beginning, right close to Canal School. And then it goes through a high marsh and low marsh, which is kind of a split pond. So it looks like 2, but it's one with like a bar that comes out, which will have a sampling platform. And then it goes into the micro pool before it goes back into the Miller Ditch and then out to the river. So they're basically excavating and then using that excavation, what they did in off-haul, to build up the banks and roads. So it'll give them the height and depth of the ponds. There's still a bridge that's going to be built. We don't expect to be done until next summer, hopefully, depending on how wet of a winter we have. The wetland project on the same site has kind of been put on hold because once we finish that project, we can't drive across it. And that's kind of how we're using it as an access, because it'll be a restored wetland that's going to be protected and we won't be able to use it to drive. And so we're just kind of putting that one on hold a little bit while we get news farther along till we have another access. We're just about finished with the Highway 33 Inyo project. So we'll be ready for signalization when we meet the warrants. And we're waiting for PG&E. Hopefully they're going to energize our last street light and that project can be closed out. The Canal School Inyo Road project is done. I think there might be a couple punch list items, so you'll be seeing that in January to accept that project. Very nice. Everybody needs to slow down. It's a really nice, smooth racetrack road now.
It is. It's a straight shot now
yeah.
for them people to shoot right through there.
Does everybody
At least
slow
they don't
down?
have to come through town. You know, they can
Yeah.
stop by Yancey's and go straight down the road.
Yep.
Right.
We are in design for several projects that we hope we see next spring and through the fall, which is Measure L, which you've adopted that area, those areas that we're going to construct. Stanislaus, which would be our SB1 funding with the last 2 blocks of Main, if we can find enough funding for that to completely do it. We also have the Jensen Road, 2-lane road, that we should get some 30% plans here the next day or so. So we can take a look at that and keep it going. There's probably a couple other, but that's enough for now.
I noticed some grading across the street is where the new courtyard's going to be. When do you think they're going to start really grading that down? Because it looks like you already graded most of it.
So we own just the quarter lot.
Right, but that's all excavated, right?
That is grindings from when they pulverized Canal School in Inyo, and we're saving that to use for Measure L because we're not going to be able to do, that's a really wide road on L Street. And so we're going to use some of that to fill in.
Oh, I see.
To raise it. So we're saving that for that project. Nobody should be grading or doing anything on the other 4 lots.
It's been cut down. It's been cut down there. It looks like what the land that we bought there, right there on the corner.
Yep, that's ours.
The sooner that goes in, the quicker the dogs and kitties probably get a house.
Yes.
And Councilman, we have money in the budget to start the engineering and design on that. And we're going to run that concurrent with the reuse plan that we've talked about doing an animal control center at the current location of the courtyard.
Right.
So those design and engineering projects are going to run concurrently. So there is money in the budget to start that process.
Yeah, that's good, because the
That's
old
just what I was
people,
gonna say.
they got to be out in the cold all the time, and believe me, I hear it. Because my wife is a volunteer,
Yep.
and it's cold, and she's 61 years old, so we
Yep.
need to kind of get the dogs inside too,
Yep.
The cats
That's
are
what
already
I-
inside the building.
That's what I was going to tell you. Is you got to talk to him and this guy to get me the money. We'll do it all day.
Oh,
long.
we'll do it. I'm coming.
I don't know if we
take
have,
any
I don't know if we have enough money to air condition those animals, but we'll.
No, forget the air, yeah, no. And the clock, I drove by and it was correct. Very well, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Give it to you.
Excellent.
watchdog.
I like that clock.
Somebody's gotta
It's
tell
the
me.
center point of our town. It shows west side.
Well, and I appreciate when people call me and tell me they see something because I can't drive down every road and see every single thing.
You're doing a
So
great job.
If you call and tell me, then we can go get it taken care of. So
Hey,
I
west
appreciate every
side's all
call.
lit up. It looks great driving down this street. Main.
Yeah.
And the clocks.
We do have some community meetings coming up and workshops. One is for the Community Connections, also known as the T Street Corridor. And so I hope that you'll all be involved in that. We're going to have a charrette in early February. So you'll hear more about that in the January meetings. I'll announce it. We'll put flyers and everything out. Then also the Urban Forest Management Plan. There'll be some community outreach on that, teaching people about trees, why they're important, what trees to plant, where they should plant them. So that kind of stuff will be happening too.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Chief Bowen?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Few updates. So we had a working structure fire on the 5th of this month in the 1300 block of Maripool. The sprinkler system activated, which helped keep the fire in check till our crew got there. They were met by a house full of smoke. Cause of the fire was determined to be a portable heater that was left outside to keep dogs warm. So they right outside the patio. We're not quite sure how it faulted, but that led to the fire, which blew out the window and made its way into the house. But like I said, the home sprinklers kept it in check till we got there. So it was a decent outcome for the situation. So also we're on track to hit a record number for call volume this year. So we'll see how that ends. So we're definitely working hard out there. You might notice we're using our reserve rig right now. Our primary rig's in the shop. It's just getting a little older, so we're having some things done to keep it response ready at all times. And then I just want to remind everyone, holiday safety. Please try not to use candles if you can, and be aware of your heaters and where you're placing them, and keep an eye on the stoves and the ovens, and just have a safe and happy holiday. I can answer any questions anyone might have.
How are you getting along with the new AM, PM station there?
Good. They always have good deals on the Monster Energy drinks. Yeah. Yeah. So we've been pretty frequent there, actually. Yeah. No, yeah, we're doing all right. I mean, it's a high traffic area, but it works. We haven't had anything significant yet. We've made some changes at the fire department, so now we pull all our apparatus in through the back, except for the smaller apparatus. So you shouldn't see the big apparatus backing into the driveway like we used to do. Now we just pull straight through the back. So,
Because I noticed that in the front where you come out on 33, there's no, you know how if there's like truck entrance going into a place, they have these splits to where the traffic stops before it gets to the light. If, say, for instance, you have emergency come out of the station there.
okay.
And normally there's lines that will say, keep this.
Oh, yeah, that's,
Yeah, so we actually have a traffic control switch inside the fire station. So what we can do is we can actually trigger the switch and the light turns green on our side and turns red on the other side. And that's what gives us our opening, yeah. Yeah, so the cross traffic is the only problem we're really gonna have when they're coming out at AM, PM, because they're not on a signal, so they're gonna see an opening. But normally, we haven't had an issue yet. It's working great, especially with the way they set that up. So it's a left turn and coming out of there and all that, so, or a right turn coming out of there, so, yeah. Thank you.
Pro Tem?
Yeah, just real quick. I keep noticing in our newspaper the same individuals getting arrested over and over again. And it's no fault of our police department. You're doing your job.
California.
Yeah, I know we don't have a state representative here tonight, but we do have Supervisor Condon here and Mr. Klein from Duarte's office. We really need to start putting some pressure on our legislators at the state level to repeal Prop 47. It has been an absolute failure, and it's disgusting to see the same names arrested over and over again who are doing horrible things in our community, but our law enforcement hands are tied. So I'll get off my soapbox now, but bless you guys for doing a great job, and I'm hoping at the state level something can be done to reverse that terrible decision that we made 6 or 7 years ago. So, thank you, Supervisor Condit. Always appreciate your hard work. You're doing a great job. Mr. Klein, would love to hear from Mr. Duarte on his first year in Congress. That would be really interesting to hear his experiences, just out of personal interest, whether on a personal level or in a meeting. So thank you for being here. That's all I have.
And piggybacking on what he's saying, I got a phone call from Congressman Duarte, and basically I was supposed to get back with him in reference to the conversation that we had. But in saying that, I just want to say to everyone, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and please be safe out there. And thank you for your services, all of you.
well, you guys covered most of it, but it has been a good year, and let's just hope it stays a better year after the first. That's all I got to say.
I also want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and be safe.
So I had the mayor's meeting. We have a mayor's meeting monthly, bi-monthly. It kind of depends on our schedules. Where the mayors, we meet in every other city. Newman has been the home for December for many years, way before me, because everybody likes to come here and see the lights that we have in the town, and we have it at the State Theater. And so I'd like to thank Allie, Susan, and Carrie for all their hard works. That they kind of ran everything for us, and it was a great night for all the mayors to come town and enjoy it. So it was really great. So thank you guys for your hard work. To all the city employees that worked on the decorating downtown, it looks amazing. Thank you guys. You guys always do a great job. And city employees and staff, thank you guys for all your hard work and this year. And may everybody in the city have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you.
So with that, I'll ask for adjournment.
Adjourned.
Got first, do we have second?
Second.